Hey, what's going on, everybody? Today is a rapid fire video, so let's try to do that and make sure it's rapid and make sure it doesn't take forever, right? You know what I'm saying? All right, so we got T-Drop in the house, we got Stacks, we got ARB, we got Link, we got AGIX, we got LCX, we got IMX, we got Myria? Myria. We got Multiverse X, EGLD. We got Proppy in the house. Almost looked like Poopy. We got Pro, right? Pro USD. Bond USD. Barn Bridge. Kronos. SBR USDT. I'm not sure what that is. We got Energy Web Token in the house. We got Dogecoin. We got Digibyte. Man, I haven't heard about Digibyte in years. We got Nervos Network. We got Gal USD. And there's more, but I'm not going to show that right now. There's going to be more, but just I'm going to try to get through all of these today. If not, I'll probably have to do a part 2. But yeah, let's do it. So starting out with Bitcoin, I'm not going to lie that the price action is very challenging at the moment. I've pretty much laid out my ideas, what I think is happening here with Bitcoin, but you can see we are still ranging in this correction we've been in since we started correcting back in early March. So, if you look at this range, I mean, you take, here's the top of the range, here's the bottom of the range, right? We are smack right in the middle, a little bit higher, but I would say right about there's the middle of that range. Basically, just long story short, my idea has been pretty much either that this is a rise, crash, retrace, reaccumulation, now we go sideways, and then we get a breakout. The other idea, right, is that this is a simple A, B, and a C, and then we get that breakout, right? Now, there is a third option, which means that this can, this is 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, and then we get 1, 2, 3. So it becomes a complex B wave before we get either reaccumulation or a C leg and then go. So I know that's not really helpful at the moment, but when you are riding this wave and you're starting to get divergence between the fourth and the fifth, you're starting to see sequential get exhausted. It's pretty easy to call the top, right? Well, not the exact top, but getting close. And we talked about a correction coming in. Then we had this big dump. You can see we had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We were back down to the low here. So it looked pretty easy to say, okay, now we need a retracement. So here was our top, here was our crash, here was our retracement. Then once you get into the retracement, you're in between point A and point B. Once you're in the middle here, that's when it becomes challenging because, that's kind of a wait and see moment. Now, we did have initial breakdown, right? So you can see, right, we came up 1, 2, 3, very three-wave-ish. We were stuck in the retracement zone, looks like a bit of a head and shoulders. We broke to the downside. We came back up in 3, 1, 2, 3. We retested it as resistance, and now we had another wave to the downside, right? Zooming in on that wave, you can see, right, when you come up, retest it as resistance, can't get back through it, so the price comes down. It comes back to support, which is this area here. It makes another attempt. So now this wave here is retracing this down wave. So the question becomes, can we get through this retracement here, or do we head back down? So that's the art of correcting. You have oscillation, and then you have these retracements you got to get through. Don't want to spend too much time on Bitcoin, but essentially I'm going over it to set the stage for the other coins, right? So I kind of look at the other coins more of a macro sense versus, looking at it just in the last 60 days. But yeah, with Bitcoin, I see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We have an A. We have 1, 2, 3. We have a B. And now it looks like we have a 1, 2, 3, 4. Maybe we get 5, right, for a C. And that would be a diagonal, right? And, there's a lot of different ways that can occur. But just talking about the broader sense, like I said, we have a rise, crash, retrace. We come down for reaccumulation. We go sideways, then we blast off. And then, of course, if that's not the case, we have an A, B, C, then we go. So there's caveats to both. For example, if we do get the C wave, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right, I would then expect us to come back up into this retracement or back to the top of this range here, if that's a diagonal, right, and maybe even exceed it. Now, if we come up in 3 and not 5, so we just come up in 3, then that's going to tell me that instead of this being the B wave, I'm going to shift that over here, right? So this is no longer the B wave. This is a 1, 2, 3. That's the B wave. And then we come down for C, right? So C can be, reaccumulation, or it can come down and take out the lows. Now, my whole thing has been for a long time now is being, when are we going to come down to test the bull market support band, right? So if I had to guess which one it would be, it would probably have to involve coming down to back test the bull market support band. We haven't tested it in, quite some time. So, don't want to share all the examples, but you go back in 2017, every single wave Bitcoin went up, it came back down and tested it, right? So, however that may be, right, you don't have to really necessarily know which exact route it goes, right? I mean, if you expect it to get here, for example, you expect it to get to the bull market support, it can get there in 10 different ways, right? And there's, and as the price continues to mature, you can rule out different, routes, the route that it'll take, right? So hopefully we have an A, B, C, and we get it over with, and we can just carry on. But if we come back up and we take out the high, then it's going to look like a flat. So we have an A, and then we have a flat, a B, and then we come down for C. Now, the C can be a running flat, it can be a regular flat, or it can come all the way down and be an expanded flat. But I would suspect the price hold above really 53, 54K. I would really like to see it hold above 57. I think 57 would be a good buy the dip if it were to come down here. Now, if I pull the retracement up on that, the 618 is about 59.4 and the 702 is 57.5. So yeah, I would say I would love to see Bitcoin stay right here. So now I can get rid of all that. So somewhere over there. So I don't know exactly which route, but that's the cool thing. You don't have to know exactly which way it's going to go. You can just, instead of planning on where it's going, you react to where it's going. Unless you're hodling, investing like most people are, most people just want assurance that their asset is going to continue to mature. It's going to continue to perform, right? And I have to come out and say, yeah, that's what I believe. Now, in the short term, like I said, there's a lot of different possibilities, but actually not too many. So we'll keep an eye on Bitcoin. If I had to choose, I would hope for it to be just an ABC quick. But if we do come back up, then I would hope that this C leg would be fast and quick so we can get on out of here, right? So yeah, we'll see how that goes. So now I'm going to start with Vechain. Vechain was actually one of the assets that for me did one of the best. So my two winners in the last bull run actually was not XRP, and everybody knows why. But my two winners was Vechain and Chainlink and DOT. So those three, and you know what? I never would have even expected it, right? I had a pretty balanced portfolio, but Vechain and Chainlink, I was a little too saturated, but it actually ended up working out. Now, if I can go back in time, I wouldn't even have held XRP knowing what I've known. I would have just stayed in Vechain or Link. But the best one that performed for me last bull run was Theta. That was my number one killer. I mean, that thing, and we'll talk about that in a separate video. Maybe I might touch on it. But yeah, those three assets, Link, Vechain, and Theta, and then sort of DOT. I wasn't too much in it, but those four were pretty much my big winners. So and if I had to change anything, I would have probably not have sold Bitcoin too early. I probably would have held on to it and then sort of changed. But those are strategies I really want to get into when we get through the retracement levels, like the total market cap. And this is important because, the strategies, a lot of people, made a lot of money last bull cycle, but a lot of people who were holding didn't because they didn't have a chance to sell. They didn't have a game plan. They didn't strategize. So I hope for in the future, I go over some of these strategies. Some of them I might do member videos. I'm not sure how I want to play it yet. But I do have some useful tips based off experience on what not to do and sort of planning out, because at the end of the day, if you don't hit that sell button, you're not going to win, right? You're not going to, enjoy what you did. And a lot of times when you get up here, it's very hard to push that sell button. Just like when you get down here, it's very hard to push the buy button, right? But as you're going up, you want to buy. As you're going down, you want to sell. So there's a strategy that I've used, and you got to stick with it no matter what your emotions are telling you. Because at the end of the day, your emotions are, what makes you lose. And but we'll talk about that when the time comes. But you can see, Vechain and the rest of the market, they're in the retracement levels. I mean, Vechain's not even near its retracement level. I would like to see it get back to the 618, and I believe that's where it's eventually going. But let's talk about it. So right off the bat, the chart looks like a lot of other charts, right? Basically, you have this big rally, you have a big bear market, and usually they cut 50%. Then you develop a base, right? And then you break out of the base, you back test it, and you continue going higher. You can see we have a 1, 2, right? We have 3, 4, and 5. We have 5 waves down, which, is a good indicator that we're, going to reverse. Another indicator, right, is we have this base here. And this base was a pretty perfect Wyckoff accumulation pattern where you have this example up here of what Wyckoff is. Basically, you have this 3-wave move up, you come down, right? You break the low here, then you come back up, right? Then you swoop in here, and then you continue going. You swoop in here like this cup here, and then you kind of play around a little bit, then continue going. Now, if I had to guess, I would suspect most charts are somewhere around here. So it's still, playing around up here. And once it hashes itself out, it can continue to go. And that's what I've been thinking here for most of the charts, including Theta, H-bar, Filecoin. I mean, if you have your coin or asset and it looks like this, that's typically not all of them are going to do that though. So if I put on the retracement, I would like it to get up to at least the 50% here at 14 cents. So right now, we're currently at 4 cents. So maybe a 3.5x or 4x around there, which is not bad at all. Now, that would be, the primary idea for most of the charts that look like this, right, is to get back up here. Now, there is a scenario where we have another low, and that would mean that this, or at least come back down to the base, which is an A, B, C. So you have a three-wave move. You have 1, 2, 3. So you had 1, 2, right? 3, 4, 5. So you have a 5-wave move down. And then you have an A, B, and a C. And B took out the low, which is okay, because that's what B's are. B waves are usually the traps, right? They're the fake outs. So we faked out to the downside. That was Wyckoff. We came back up. So A, B, C. So that could mean, that's why we're sort of at a pivotal point here. If we don't get through this, then what I would like to see, right? Well, if let's say we don't get through it, right? And we don't continue marching up, we want to hold above the bull market support band, which is right about here, right about 3.5 cents. If we lose that, that's okay. Then we have this back test line at about 3 cents. And then this down here at about basically 0.029. So that would sort of be, the buy the dip area is right in that zone here. Now, if I pull up a fib retracement on this wave here, take it from the top to the bottom, that actually lines up nicely with the 618. So I would say our last, if the bearish scenario is going to play out, then we would break below the 702 and the 786. And I'm spending more time with this because this is going to be my example for other coins. So just remember the Vechain. This is basically the the main thing that can happen. It can even happen with Theta. I'm not inclined to it because there's no reason to until, like I said, we have plenty of wiggle room between now and the back test zone, the breakout level, also the bull market support band we haven't tested, we haven't back tested, and we haven't hit the 618. So it still has plenty of room for it to reverse. Now, let's say it didn't reverse. Then I would say, okay, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then this is an A, B, C. So we have an A, B, and a C, which means we're probably going down now. So that could mean a couple different things, right? We can go back down sort of, you would look at this as an extremely shallow retracement. So anytime you get 3, chances are you're going to get 5 or another 3, right? So if we come back down in 3 and test the lows, all we would be doing here is just expanding the range, right? And then you have this kind of throw over, you come back in the range, you consolidate some more, needs more time, then you go, right? And that's kind of how, sometimes things do that. And a good example of that would be Ethereum. You can see here we have 5 waves down, right? We had an A, B, C. And then instead of continuing to march up, look what happened. We lost the bull market support band, right? We came back underneath. We retested it as resistance. And then we couldn't do it. So basically what happened was we sort of flagged out in here, right? And but you can also say we were going into reaccumulation. So we had a rise, crash, retrace, a shallow retrace, very shallow. Then we went down into reaccumulation. Then we continued higher. So just take a mental screenshot of this. But here's the reason why I don't like that for Vechain. Because look at Ethereum. Ethereum came all the way down. Where's the base at? Right? I don't see an Ethereum base. I see kind of like a V-shaped recovery, right? The reason why Ethereum, and this is important, before I get to the other coins, this is important to understand. You could see we had this move down, but we didn't develop a base down here to break out of. Instead, we kind of just flipped on a dime. And when you do that, you end up paying for it later. So then what do you have? You have basically a big base down here, right? So there's your base. So, going back to Vechain, right? I mean, you could see here, Vechain had a base, right? It had a proper base. So because it had that, it established a layer, it established a foundation, right? A foundation of support. So now, typically, like that Wyckoff example, you flag out, you continue higher, maybe you come down to the 618, things like that. But what I'm saying here is if that doesn't occur, then you can always come down and flag out in here, a big flag, right? And then all you would do is just extend the base a little bit higher, a little bit further along, right? Then you waddle down in price, then you have that breakout. So basically what that is, ladies and gentlemen, this becomes then a 1, 2. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We have 5 waves to the upside. And then you get an A, B, C pullback, right? And then you continue higher. So we have our first initial wave to the upside. It broke out, so we can come down. This is sort of that bearish leaning idea, right? And then once you get back, summer we go down, right? Fall, but then once you get into like October, November, December, that's crypto usually does very well in spring and winter, and sometimes fall, but really never summer. Sometimes it has these bounces, but nothing sustainable. So we have this 1, and we bull flag out of here, then we continue higher, right? Which then becomes a bigger 3-way move, 1, 2, 3. And then we get to the retracement levels. And then that's when it becomes challenging, because do we get a 4th and then a 5th? That would confirm the bull run. If we don't, then it becomes an ABC, and then we go down into reaccumulation before getting that bull run. You see what I mean? So this is a lot of time here that I've drawn, but that's what we're dealing with as far as possibilities go. So my primary idea has been we get into the retracement levels. And so far I've been right about that with Bitcoin, but a lot of the others like Vechain, Theta, they haven't quite made it there yet, because they barely broke out of their range. They barely broke out of their Wyckoff range. So, this is Wyckoff accumulation. We have we have an A, B, C, right? And then we come back down, we flag out, and we continue higher. Or we have an A, B, C, and we come back down, and we make another low. We break this low, and then we swoop up and go pretty fast, right? So then that would, to me, would be like 1, 2, all of this is 3, this is 4, this is 5, then we go. So those are the two bearish ideas that I really haven't talked about, because there's no need to at the moment, because we haven't broken, like I said, below the bull market support band. We haven't back tested. We haven't hit the 618, right? So I'm not inclined to think that. My main position, if you've been following my channel, right? And look at here. This is Theta right here. It looks exactly the same as Vechain, except Theta's a little higher, and Theta has more wiggle room to go, right? So the same exact thing applies for Theta, right? This could be an ABC, and then we flag out, continue higher, or an ABC, and we break the low. I just don't think so. I don't think so. It would have to be some major black swan event for it to do that. Some type of thing that happens for it to do that. But my primary idea has always been with Theta and charts that look like Theta, like Vechain, is a retracement. So, the primary idea is Wyckoff accumulation. We broke out, And here's the thing, same with Vechain, right? We back tested the bull market support band, very important. I made plenty of videos here talking about this is a very good opportunity. Not financial advice. Remember, nothing I say here is financial advice. But we broke out, and there's always a chance that we come down and back test the breakout level or the bull market support band, then continue higher. Then what you have is you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, because you want 5 waves going into the retracement, not 3. If you have 5 waves going into the retracement, you have much more higher probability of breaking through the retracement, because when you have 5, you get a 3-wave pullback or some type of flag or some type of reaccumulation, then you continue higher. And that's kind of been my main thesis here. But before we get there, my main objective, just like with Bitcoin did, is getting back to the retracement levels. Now, it could be like Ethereum, right? It could be just like Ethereum, where it's a shallow retrace, and then we kind of, dwindle down here like what Ethereum did. Remember, it had that COVID dip. It came back up, and then it started to fly. So something like that, right? But those are just ideas that are potential. But for now, right, there's no reason to even look at that, because we're in a very interesting spot. Now, if we start trading below the bull market support band, we start breaking below support, then we can bring those options on the table. But the reason why I wanted to bring those up now is so that we're aware of that. In the event that it does happen, it's nothing to necessarily worry about from the macro sense, because this is all part of the bear market. Remember, we had an amazing bull market. We had an insane bear market. We have a beautiful base. We broke out of the base. Now, the rest is up to buyers to step up. But first, people have to take profit, right? And that's what they're doing. And that brings the price down so that new money can enter, so that the price can continue higher, right? So we'll talk all about that. That's why I highly recommend subscribing to my channel if you haven't already. That way you don't miss any updates. And, like the video too. That really helps out. But yeah, I think laying out those ideas, I'm still going with the bullish idea. Now, as far as Bitcoin goes, like I said, we need to retest that bull market support band, hold above it, right? If Bitcoin loses its bull market support band, loses the 618, then we can entertain those A, B, C ideas, right? But until now, I'm still very bullish. I'm still very optimistic. So let's keep going. So that's basically what I have there. Now, looking back at Vechain for fun, right? Let's say we do break out, what would the target be here? Well, really 43 cents to 50 cents, all the way up to potentially over $1, maybe $1.12, right? So that's a huge move. And just to get back to the all-time high, that's about 600%. The 618 around 1,000%, and if we're lucky, we get a 4.236. That's 2,700%. But here's the thing: what I wanted to explain. When you zoom all the way out, right? You have a base, right? You have an impulse to the upside. So this is your wave 1, and now we have a wave 2, right? And then we broke out. So your thinking here is to continue higher. So 1, 2, and 3. So however it works itself out, if it has to come back down, if it has to come up then back down into reaccumulation, whatever the case may be in here, however it works itself out, the point is we have a 1, 2, and we're waiting for that third wave. So, when in doubt, zoom out. So that's sort of, I wanted to take a lot of time to explain that, to set the stage for these other coins that I haven't even looked at, by the way. I just added them to the list. Okay, so the rest of the market, I got to go quick. So starting with T-Drop, look at this. it's hard to read this because we only have so much data, but basically you have this move to the downside, right? You develop this base down in here. You can see this base was more rounded to the downside. This base is more rounded to the upside. So we had a 1, 2, or you can't count that because of the wick here, but we have a 1, 2, and then we have another 1, 2. Look at this. Look where the weekly candle landed. It perfectly back tested the bull market support band. Let me zoom in here to the daily chart. We'll try to go quick here. Yeah, I think it's pretty bullish. Now, there is a chance here we have some type of diagonal where you have 1, 2, 3, 4, and we have 5 with a three-way pullback, continue higher. And that's kind of what I'm thinking here. We have, unless that's an ABC, if this wick right here didn't break the low, then I would think that the diagonal was already finished, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? With a three-way pullback, back test the bull market support band, continue higher. So yeah, that should do it here with T drop. Like I said, my mic got muted and I don't know where I stopped at, but essentially saying I would like to see this cup out of here. We could see it inverse, head and shoulders, breakout, back test, go. If not, then we're going to flag down. So if I put on the retracement, I don't want it to break below. If I put it wick to wick, we're already right at that danger zone, right? But to me, it doesn't seem right. So I'm going to put it like this. There we go. So we wicked through and we hit the 702. So I really don't want to see it go below this zone here. Or if we do get there, I think that would be the buying opportunity. So maybe 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, maybe some type of diagonal or a flag. Continue higher. So we wicked off the bull market support band. That's bullish. So let's see if we come down and retest it. Now here we have stacks. Stacks is interesting because we have maybe 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then you have an A, and then you have a three-way move up for B. Maybe we come down and we get C, and we go into reaccumulation, then go. Worst case, you get A, B, and C, then go. Now, that's the bearish idea. Because, and the reason I started with that idea first is because we only have 3 waves going up here, right? 1, 2, 3. It looks very three-wave-ish. I really need to see this flag out and get another high. So we can have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If we can get that, then I would be more confident when we pull back in ABC, we can continue higher. But so far, it looks like some type of B wave. Unless, of course, we have 1, 2, 3. We have 1, 2, and 3. Right? So we have 3 down, 3 up, and then 3 back down. So basically, you're developing a big range here, right? And what I could see happening here is maybe a shoulder, a head, and another shoulder here. So it'll be, I want to see it, back test the bull market support band, number 1. But then also flag out for a wave 4 so that I can continue in a wave 5. So yeah, so far it looks good. We broke above the all-time high. We're above it. But I just don't like how this it's very three-wave-ish. So it looks like a B wave, and we know B waves are traps, right? Not saying it is a trap, but the way you would kind of figure that out is if we lose this and... there's always a chance, we can back test this area down in here. So if I put on the Fibonacci, the area we want to hold is sort of where I've had it drawn there. The 618 right in here. We want to hold above that. So that's kind of the wave 4 pullback if we do get that wave 4. Now we come back down in wave 4 and then we get that wave 5. So when we get down in here, if we get down in here, right, it'll be that's going to be the pivotal moment. Now if this gets another high, then it's going to look less likely, right, that we have to come down, because then you would have a 1-2, maybe you have another 1-2, right, and then creating that still impulsing that third wave, right? So when I look at the wave here, we have a 1-2, which is wave 1. And then in wave 3, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's wave 3. We pull back for wave 4. And then we have a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it looks complete. 1, 2, all of that's 3, 4, and now we have 5. So that's either the end of a C leg, right? A C wave or a wave 3. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, that's wave 1 or wave A. We have a 3-way pullback. That's either a wave B or a wave 2. And now we're going up. That's either a wave 3 or a wave C. So what happens here determines if it's a wave 4 or a reversal with another 3-wave down. So very tricky situation. If I'm holding the asset personally, I would consider taking some profits, depending where you got. Now, if you're a long-term macro bull on this, I would just keep hodling, right? Or I would at least, see how it reacts off the bull market support band. So, yeah, that's what I have for that one. ARB. I mean, honestly, it's not really helpful at all. We lost the bull market support band. We have 1, 2, 3. Looks like we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The third wave is not shortest, so that's good. And then we have a 3-way pullback. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. A, B, C. We have a 3-way pullback. Let's see where it pulled back to. About the 702. If I pull it down here, we had a 618 retrace. So yeah, it looks interesting for a potential long coming soon. Let's zoom in and see what we got here. Yeah, I like 1, 2, 3. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then an A, B, C pullback. Now let's look at this wave here. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, and now we're getting 5. Now, do we have divergence? We don't. Let's look at the 4-hour. Not really. We don't have divergence. So maybe another low. Or, we have to wait and see how this, because the proportionality between this looks like it's got to go down a little more. But, maybe we get a bounce first. But yeah, I think worst case scenario for the bulls, right? We come back down and we back test this area. So let me put it right about there. So somewhere in there, I would say would be an interesting. Let's see how if we get down here, let's see how it reacts. So 1, 2, 3. Let's see how it reacts down in here. If we start flipping out real quick, I mean, it can come back down in a complex 3. But yeah, I would like to wait until we get down here to make a decision. But we did lose the bull market support band, but we do have a nice 3-wave shape following a 5-wave move. So I would say it's getting close for a reversal. Link. Now, Link's been very interesting chart. I mean, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We have an A, B, C. We developed the base down in here. We broke out of the base, right? Get into those retracement levels. Let's see here. Not quite yet. I would expect if we do go higher into a retracement to get somewhere up here. That would be the true test for Chainlink if it's going to continue higher. If not, then to me, it looks like a rise, crash, retrace, right? Maybe we go a little higher, we come down for reaccumulation. So we have this base down in here, and then basically we develop another base, right, on top of this base, and then continue higher. That would sort of be my main idea, to be, conservative. Now, more bullish than that, I see a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I think it's going to lose the bull market support band because it's just gone up so quick. But I would suspect some type of A, B, C, something like that. I mean, worst case, we come all the way back down to back test the breakout level, right? So we broke out, we can come all the way back down and back test before continuing higher. But yeah, we have bearish divergence. You could see divergence from, we're going down here, right? And then divergence between the 4th and the 5th. So it looks like it looks bearish, really. It looks like it needs to continue to correct. Now, we could get another high before that happens. If I zoom in, looks pretty corrective. We had this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Or you can even say 1, 2, 3. This is a 3-wave move, right? Maybe you get another 3-wave move, followed by another 3-wave move, so W, X, Y. And then figure out, do we get some bids down here? I would say $13, $14 before hopefully reversing out of there. I think, like I said, it's going to play a lot with Bitcoin too. So that would make sense. If Bitcoin comes down to the bull market support band, it would make sense for Chainlink to do that. But for now, it's holding up bullishly. It's consolidating. We have a base here, and then we have another base here. So if we start to lose that, then I would basically take this wave, bring it up to here, and say, if we're going to have a real correction, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, I would target the 50 to the 618 first. So between $11 and $14. I think that would be a good idea. So that's it for Link. Now, if Link breaks out all-time high, where can she go? And by the way, I'm a long-term bull on Link. I think Link's going to be around for a while. I would target $82. Would be a good target for Chainlink. Now, if it really wanted to show off, maybe 208. That's pretty crazy. But a good target always would be the 1618, so about $82. once we break out of here. So if you're a long-term bull and you're not worried about, you know, what happens in these retracement levels, because again, it's challenging area. We have point A, point B. It's easy up here, it's easy down here, but once you get in the middle, this is where all the decisions are made. So we can come down, go sideways, go up. We can flag out, go up. We can continue to go up, or we can break the low. But, you know, I'm more simple than that. Like, I'm not going to just throw all those ideas on you. I think, in my opinion, this is a 5-wave move. We need a pullback so we can continue higher. Then that's what I think. Now, this pullback can turn into reaccumulation, or it can be a simple bull flag, continue higher. But so far I have, and then you can also say that this is an A, B, and a C, right? So we have A, and then we have 1, 2, 3 for B, then we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for C. So is this a wave 1, or is this a wave C? And that. See what I mean? That's the challenging part. So that's why we got to keep a close eye. That's why you got to hit that subscribe button so you won't miss anything. No. But yeah, I think Bitcoin will tell us that answer before anything drastic changes. AGIX. Well, not a lot of data on this chart, but I do see a 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5. Now the fifth wave, now in this wave I see 1, 2, 3. Maybe we come down for 4 and then get 5. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 5. And in the fifth we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then I would see that, you know, ABC correction before hopefully continuing higher, whatever this is. Looks like we, you know, maybe had some type of inverse head and shoulders here, right? The good thing about this is we're pretty high above the bull market support band. We have plenty of wiggle room, right? There's always a chance we come down. We have, right, resistance. We broke out. Maybe we come down and we back test the resistance, and the back test it as support, and it also lines up with the bull market support band. So I would say 53 to 65 would be maybe a buy the dip situation. What does this look like on regular scale? So regular scale, you know, looks 3-wave-ish, right? You have 1, 2, 3, maybe we get 4 and 5, some type of diagonal. Now I would be a little careful with this one. I mean, you know, when the charts are brand new, they can go pretty crazy and go very high, but this one, it's already at the target of 1618, 1702. It actually got to the 2.272. So it's already in that take profit area. So I would be very cautious with this one. Can it go higher? Of course it can. But a lot of coins are nowhere near. There's, you know, they're not even near the retracement levels, right? Most coins are down in here, right? Not even above the 236. This one's pretty extended. That doesn't really mean much. I don't know what the market cap is. I don't know, you know, anything about it. But, I mean, you can say, well, look at Chainlink. It took off. You know, sometimes they take off and you go, well, it's too late now. But then 3 weeks later, it's like tripled in value. So you have to ask yourself if that's a risk you're willing to take. For me, it's not, because I don't know much about it. But yeah, that's what I have for that one. LCX, you know, same kind of thing, like Vechain in a way. You have this move down. We have this base down in here, right? Maybe potential Wyckoff in here, where we play around in here before breaking out. The bearish idea, A, B, C, right? Before having, you know, another 3-wave move back down, before going back up, you know, kind of flagging out a little bit. But yeah, what I would look for this is number one, we are pretty high above the bull market support band. So we had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now I would expect A, B, C, right? Maybe we back test the top of this here. We come down before coming higher. So I would look for it to flag out here. Let's zoom in. Yeah, we definitely have bearish divergence between the 4th and the 5th. So I would say this thing, like most of the charts, are kind of toppy, and they look like they need to pull down. I mean, when you look at XRP, it's been, ranging. But a lot of these coins, they went up pretty substantially. I mean, what did this go up? It went up almost 1,000%, right? So that's a 1,000% wave, right? Plus you have 5 waves, plus you have divergence, plus you haven't tested the bull market support band, plus you haven't back tested the breakout level. So I would be, I mean, of course, yes, of course, it can go higher. But for me as an investor, am I going to take that risk, or do I want a good entry? Now, if we came down, right, if this is a flat, and instead of this being a 5th, it's an A, B, and we get C, and we have a good reaction, then yeah, maybe we can keep rocking it. And that would be my more bullish case. Let me show you on the smaller time frame. Because so far, I don't see it being a 5th wave, because, we have 1, 2, 3, maybe this is 4 and 5 to finish up that 5th wave. And then you have divergence between the 4th and the 5th. Unless, if this is going to only be 3, then you have 3 down, 3 up, and then maybe 5 back down, or 3, right? So a flat. So here's your top. You correct, you fake out, right? You break the top, but you don't keep going. You come back down, right? 3-wave shape. Then kick off for that 5th wave. So it could be that this whole thing is a wave 4. 1, 2, 3, and this is 4, and then we will get 5. So that's what I have for that one. Let's see where we are in the retracement level. We're already at 52 minutes, and I don't even think I'm halfway there. So I might have to do a 2-parter on this one. So stay tuned. We'll let you know. Yeah, I think a good target would be $1. $1.06 would be a good target to have for this one, if we keep rocking it. So, I mean, what I really would like to see is this 1, 2, and then all of this is 3. We get 4, then we get 5. So something like that. That would be the bull case. The bear case would be, is yet to be determined, but more likely we would come down and back test this area. If we lose that, if we lose the bull market support band, then I would say to come down to retest maybe 16 cents, 618. So that's what I have for that one. IMX, same thing, very much the same. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, A, B, C. I would like to see a 4th and a 5th to make it 5. But if it's not, then this is 3, ABC, then we get another 3 down. We come down, we back test this area. So here's your range. You break out of the range, you come down, you back test the range, you continue to go higher. So it'll be interesting to see if we can hold above the back test level. If not, then we'll have to, think about other things that are happening, but we'll cross that bridge when we get there. But so far, I mean, yeah, I think we can get another high. We can totally get another high, but it looks a little bit cooked, when you look at something like, XRP, it hasn't really done anything. It's still ranging. That's why I'm more comfortable holding it than some of these that I already did so well. right? But then I'm kind of nervous because if all the charts are the same, saying, hey, we need more correcting, we need more downside, then that will ultimately mean probably more down for XRP. So, but yeah, with XRP, I've already made plenty of videos about that. But just real quick, I think 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, A, B, C, 1 or 2, let's go. Or this is an A, B, C, D, E, then we go. If we start to lose the range, then I'm going to think something different. I'm going to think, we have 1, 2, 3. So that would be an A, B, C. And then we have a 1, 2, 1, 2 to the downside. 3, 4, 5. So 1, 2, 3, kind of a 1, 2, 3, or a 5 before heading on up. And that would, of course, break this channel to the downside. But if you look, that's exactly what happened before, right? That's exactly what happened down here before it exploded to the upside. We have this channel. We broke below the channel before rocketing to the upside. All right, I believe this is the 10th chart. So I think I might do, this will be the last, or I might do another one. But you're going to stay tuned for part 2 because I still got, like 10 or 11 other coins to look at. If I upload that video today, it's not going to be, it kills the algorithm. So I might have to wait till tomorrow. So I don't know. I'll have to play it by ear, but stay tuned for that. Myra, I think that's how you say it. Myra. It looks bearish right now because, we're losing the bull market support band. Unless, of course, we have a rise, crash, retrace. Now we're going into reaccumulation before breaking out. That's option number 1. Option number 2, we have a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then we have an A, B, and now we're getting C. So, and then we go. So we have some correcting to do, right? So maybe we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, something like that. We bottom out here and continue higher. So it looks like a 3-wave shaping up. And that's kind of the 2 ideas I have for you there. Now, the bullish idea, to me, this looks like a classic retracement here. So here's your crash. Look at that. We perfectly came up to the 702, 618. And we did it overlapping. So 1, 2, 3. It looked very correctively, right? I was going to say, if it wasn't, then you can say this is a 1, 2, and now we're ready to continue pumping to the upside. But this coin looks like it needs some more work to do. I mean, it could be even a triangle where you have A, B, C, D, E before breaking out. So that would be a wave 4. So yeah, those are the ideas. I mean, we did break the top here. I don't know how significant that is. So, we come up, we cupped out, we broke the top, and now we're sort of playing around in here. Do we come down and retrace 50% of this wave before going higher, or do we have another high, right? So if I pull the Fibonacci from the bottom to the top, where did we come to? We actually had a 618 retrace, so it was sufficient enough. So it'll be interesting. Maybe that's all we needed, right? But even if so, I still think we have some ranging in here. So we're making a base, and that's important. When you have a big wave up, you want to oscillate, make a base. That way you have a good amount of support. That way when you break out again, you have some support to lean on. So, I mean, I still have Multiverse X, Pro, Bond, Crow, Energy Web Token, Dogecoin. You don't want to miss that one. Digibyte, Nervos, Gal, TIA, SHIB. I got to do SHIB, ICP. Let's see. And a few of these, not all of them. I mean, we have Rune, ICX, HBAR, Vechain, or I did Vechain, ADA, Floki, One, Ethereum, Jupe. So I'm not going to do all of them on the next video, but I'm going to do a good chunk. CRV, Bitcoin Cash, Pyth Network, DRO. Some of these I already did last time, and TON. So comment below if you have any coins you want me to look at for next rapid fire session. Let me know in the comment section. I haven't looked at the comments in the last several days. I've been busy with my personal life, but I'm gonna have to go and check for the next rapid fire. But I'm gonna have to wrap it up here. If you guys would be so kind to hit that like button and drop a comment, let me know what you think. If you have any coins you want me to take a look at, always a comment is very appreciative. And yeah, subscribe if you haven't already. And if you want to support my work, support the channel, there's a YouTube tip jar where you can scan with your Google Lens, and that's always very appreciative. And until next time, I will catch you on the next one. Stay tuned for part 2. I got part 2 coming either tonight or tomorrow morning, so be on the lookout for that. But until next time, I'll catch you on the next one. Cheers.